it seemed you came back this year kind of a different player, and that you must have worked extremely hard over the summer. Can you tell me what your summer was like?
Well, I was taking 11 credits for class because I changed my major to nursing, but other than that, every day I was working out at a place called ARC. It's a sports performance place to get my quickness up, to get in shape. And I couldn't really tell, but Coach Kress definitely could tell, so. And I shot every day, just worked out with Tom O'Brien. He's up here a lot, watching practices.
Okay, so I saw you come in, and I saw immediately that you were a different player. Is it more fun to play this year?
Oh my gosh, it's so much more fun. I feel more more relaxed than I was last year. I mean, I don't know if that's me being a freshman and me being a sophomore now, but it's definitely more fun, being more in shape.
Well, there is a big difference between being a sophomore and being a freshman. And let's talk about the mental side of it. And as the game, as they like to say on TV and football a lot, has it slowed down for you this year?
Oh yeah, it's definitely slowed down, and I feel like I'm more like a role model to the freshmen instead of being the underdog as a freshman and having to look up to other people. I'm trying for people to look up to me. So it makes me work harder than I think I did last year. I think I work harder this year just because the freshmen are coming in and they need somebody to look up to.
Well, we've had a couple of freshmen in particular contribute an awful lot this year. And how have you mentored the freshmen?
Well, I think just how our team meshes, the freshmen that are starting right now, they definitely feel more relaxed and not intimidated by us because we know they're good. We're going to get them the ball. We're not going to shun them because they're freshmen. They're good, and we want to see what they can do.
Megan Paul is our guest here at halftime, and as we talk about you being a role model, let's just take the first part of that. What is your role this year?
I would say definitely shooting threes. Also, though, I feel like my defense has definitely picked up, and I think that's why I'm out there is because I think my quickness is more. I have more quickness this year, and she definitely relies on my defense as well as shooting.
How hard is it to come onto the floor from the bench, take the first pass, and take a shot right away? Do you need to touch the ball a couple of times before you can fire it?
Well, that's one thing that I focused on is to not shoot it right when I catch it because I want to get warmed up to the game and get the feel of the ball. And I think that's definitely one of the things she wanted me to focus on was not catch and shoot right on the first pass. She wanted me to get the feel, and then it'd come easier.
I'm not sure this is an official record, but I think last year as a freshman, you must have set a couple of distance records in shooting threes because you're way behind the arc sometimes, but you feel comfortable there, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Last year there were times where I might not should have shot that, but this year I think she's more confident with me just because of how hard I worked this summer, and she knows I can hit that shot if my feet are set.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to say is I know Larry Holly has said that on the men's side, that he doesn't care where the shooters are, it's how deep they are, as long as their feet are set. So tell me about those feet. Is that the most important thing in shooting the three?
I think, well, especially if it's a long three, you don't want to be coming off a screen and having your feet, having to gather and pull up. You want the best shot, like a three-point shot, where I know it's going to go in when I shoot it, is when you pass into post and then they kick it out. I feel like that doesn't really matter where you're at on the court when that happens.
Do you know when you release a ball if it's going to go in?
Yeah, most of the times, and a lot of people are like, did you know how far you were at? And I was like, I had no idea, I just shot it. I was open, so I'm just going to let it go. And they're like, you were all the way almost to half court. I was like, well, I don't look where my feet are, so I just throw it up there.
What's the longest three-pointer you've ever made?
I don't know. In practice one time, I actually shot a half-court shot, like a regular shot, and I made it, and everyone was like, what? And they were like, you better never be short again, because we know you can make that half-court shot with your feet set. So.
Well, Megan, was it a legitimate jump shot, or were you just heaving it up there?
It was a legitimate jump shot, yeah. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, how do you not, when you run and shoot a half-court shot, I just stand, shoot it. Yep, practice that a lot.
Megan Paul is our guest. Let's talk about something besides basketball. What did you do with all the time off this year between games and the semester break?
Well, I was shadowing people, I want to be a nurse anesthetist, so I was shadowing nurse anesthetist, trying to get everything in line for nursing next semester. I didn't really have a break that much, but, it was nice to relax.
Why pick that specialty?
I think it just interests me. Not a lot of people know about it, and they think the anesthesiologist is the main person, but really it's the CRNAs that do all the work. And I like being in the room when surgery's happening, seeing all the different types of surgery, so, yep.
Well, and from what I understand, and I don't put words in your mouth here, but that's a pretty good paying occupation and very much in demand.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was actually a bio-pre-med major and wanted to be a surgeon myself. But after seeing my dad go through it and the toll it takes on him, I'm like, maybe I should pick a little less kind of occupation if I want to have a family and be with my family, because he's not there. I mean, he comes home like at 9 p.m. every night, misses some stuff, so he works hard.
So your dad's a doctor, right?
Yes, he's an orthopedic surgeon.
And what does your mom do?
She's a stay-at-home mom. Yep.
Well, you grew up in Kearney, not far from here, and was that a factor in staying, or was it something you had to kind of, I don't know, overlook because a lot of kids want to go away to school?
Well, I knew for a fact that I wanted to be close because I love my family. I love being around my family. I do not want to go far away. My siblings had went far away, and I mean, they're home every weekend. So I was like, I want my dad to come to every single game. I wanted to be in the stands, and that was a big part of being close.
Do they get to? Do you usually have a lot of people?
Well, my parents come to every single game. They take my dad makes sure he schedules people in advance, like not on that day, so he can come to every single game. It's crazy, yeah.
As we talked to Megan Paul here, you look toward graduation and anesthesiologist and in that field. What else would you like to be like when you get out of school?
Well, I mean, since I'm graduating in a year, I'm going to be graduating. Yep, I'm going to be graduating right when I turn 21, so hopefully people take me seriously and I can get a job, even though I am that young, and I want to, I don't know, like be a role model for other people. I want to help people segue into what they want to do. If somebody asks to shadow me, I would definitely want to help them out and be that type of person where I help them get a job and just be that role model for them.
I'm trying to do the math in my head, so how many years is it going to take you to graduate?
Well, it's going to be 3 years here, and then I work 2 years in the ICU, and then I have 2 to 3 years in nurse anesthetist school.
Wow, that's amazing. That's a long career path. Well, thank you so much for spending the time with us. Continue to launch those threes. Make sure your feet are set, though. And if you ever hit one from outside the court, that'd be kind of fun to see, too.
Well, thanks for having me, Rick.
It's always a pleasure, and we will be back in just a moment with more after this.